Hello buddy, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric Navas. In this video, I'm going to talk about Warhammer 40k, but the comic relief of Warhammer 40k. I talked about one of these characters that has comic relief in an earlier video, which I'll get to it in a little bit. But first, for those who don't know, comic relief by definition is, just make it bigger for you guys, is the inclusion of a humorous character, scene, or witty dialogue in an otherwise serious work, often to relieve tension. So that's the basic definition of what comic relief is. So comic relief in Warhammer 40k is actually very difficult to find, if not extremely kind of rare, because it's a dystopian grimdark universe, so everything's super serious, grimy, gloomy, action-packed, that kind of thing, not really a lot of humor. But there are two characters that I know of that are basically the comic relief of Warhammer 40k, and there's probably others out there. So please comment down below if you know anything or anyone else that is comic relief in the Warhammer 40k universe. And one of them is Sci-fi. Right? Kane. I talked about him in his books in an earlier video, this video, so I'll link it in the description below, but I won't go too much on him. Yeah, he's comic relief. He is sort of the Han Solo of Warhammer 40k, at the same time he's not. That makes sense. He's a heroic scoundrel, and so all the situations he gets in, whether in combat or just socializing or whatnot, he always finds himself in the kind of an awkward / tense situation, and whatever he says or does, it always brings the humor out of him, whether it is his intention or not. And it's not always his intention, but that's just kind of how he is. So he's funny even though he doesn't try to be funny. That makes sense. Just the stuff that he goes through, you know. Just like this one scene, and a little bit of spoilers, I read in the Hero Imperium, the first novel, where the Astro Melatonin, the soldiers go to this social event of this like elite, rich 1% class party, socializing around, and he explains who he is. But the way he does it with this charisma. He does it in a way that he's not trying to he's not egotistic, but at the same time he just does it, but he shows himself enough, reveals himself enough so that, it won't draw any suspicion or just kind of get other characters that he doesn't like or is not interested to kind of back off. Unless there's someone there that he is interested in, then then yeah, he goes and has a chat with them or not. But it's really fun. You have to read it for yourself. I can't stress that enough. And the other comic relief in Warhammer 40k universe is Lucas the Trickster. Lucas the Trickster, he's called Trickster for a reason. He's part of the Space Wolves. He's basically the Caiaphas Cain of the Space Wolves. Space Wolf is one of the 20 Space Marine Legions, the Legionnaire Astartes, created by the Emperor of Mankind. Their Primarch is Leman Russ, and long story short, lore-wise, what happened with Leman Russ is basically, he remained loyal to the Horus Heresy, and he fought against Horus and his forces. And after all that happened, after the Horus Heresy, he basically disappears from the warp after getting this vision. And so the Space Wolves are just, doing their thing, kind of afterwards, more or less. Yeah, so that's just the lore in a nutshell. I might do a video talking more about Space Wolves, or more specifically what books you should read about. Space Wolves that have impactful and very delicious lore. Okay. This one we're going to talk about Lucas the Trickster. He is the comic relief of Space Wolf. Like Caiaphas Cain is also the comic relief in Warhammer 40k universe. He's a trickster because he knows how to play tricks on his enemies, and he's actually very smart. He is a prankster. He's also, as a side note, he's also a player as well. And when a guy's a player, he just... well, I don't want to say too much because, this is YouTube, but basically he likes to, have a good time in the room with the opposite sex. Yeah. So this is what he looks like. Really, this is a badass imagery of him. Yeah, and there's one novel made of him. This is called Lucas Trickster, the same thing by his name. And this is a really good novel. I started reading it. It's really good. There's a lot of humor in it, but at the same time, there's a lot of moments where it's also very deep and philosophical as well. Because the Space Wolves, and to kind of backtrack, the reason why I like the Traitor Legions more than the Loyal Legions because the Traitor Legions as a whole have a better narrative. I felt like they actually everyone has their own personality, as opposed to Loyalists. Overall, they seem they're not necessarily very soothed, but they felt very generic. As far as they're all kind of the same as far as like their character / personality. This is particularly notable. Tongue twisted. This is especially noticeable in the Ultramarines, where everyone's basically just about everybody's a Mary Sue or Gary Stu, and they all have the same. They don't have no personality. Just go and just do their duty. That's it. And Space Wolves were kind of generic, at least in the early lore, but now they're having more of like their own character / own personalities, more diverse. You see, they're basically Space Wolves are supposed to be loosely based on Vikings, so that's their kind of personality. That's why they have claws. That's why what's those wolves? No. And this book is a really good book. Definitely recommend it. And so you get ebook or audiobook right here. And the thing is, this book, as of this video, has basically the physical copy is basically out of stock in a lot of places, just about everywhere. So it's very hard to get a physical copy. I tried myself to get a physical copy. I was lucky enough to get it in Barnes & Nobles, but even here, see, out of stock. So if you're looking for a physical copy, you might be out of luck for the time being. So you'll just have to read the ebook, unless you can find a physical copy. But there's a good chance that it's going to be very expensive because it's a very popular novel. It's one of the most sought out books, and so if it was a very sought out book, it's going to be very hard to find it. That gives you a hint of how good the book is. But yeah, look at the Trickster. Yeah, so Caiaphas Cain and Lucas the Trickster are basically the comic relief of Warhammer 40k. The reason why I'm doing this video about comic relief is because, with everything going on, with the protests and whatnot, and don't get me wrong, those matters are very serious and they need to be taken seriously. But at the same time, we need to kind of just step back, take a deep breath, and just kind of relieve our stress. And one of the ways to relieve stress is exercise, eating a diet. But what particularly relieves stress is humor. That's why with Caiaphas Cain and Lucas the Trickster, in particular, they are the comic relief. That's why I particularly focus on these two in this video. And there's probably other characters, other scenes and scenarios that are also comic relief of Warhammer 40k as well, that I probably don't know of, because I'm still digesting the lore as a lot of you guys are. So that's more or less it for this video. I'll put a link in the description for how to get the book, the ebook version. Yeah, because see, the ebook in this case, it's kind of the same. And also, it's an electronic book. It's not like a physical copy, so it doesn't really matter. But if you want to support like Black Library or Workshop, again, Workshop, you definitely want to purchase from there instead of Amazon, that kind of thing. And you could just go look up the lore yourselves. So I'll put a link in the description about the Caiaphas Cain video, because I already explained it in that video about who he is and why you should read the books. And that's pretty much it for this video. Again, so much for watching. And also before I go, my brother, he just finished the semester, so I already finished helping him with all his homework and everything, so a lot more free time. And with work, it's kind of still having less hours. I hope I don't get laid off or anything like that, but either way, I'll have a lot more free time. So what I'll do is I'll try to get another video out this month. I'll probably talk about in the Space Star Legions, which hopefully will be the first. Well, not literally the first, but it's kind of, let's give you like a little hint on who I might talk about in the next video. But yeah, that's pretty much just it for this video. I don't want to ramble on too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and until next time.